Texans OTAs began yesterday, and I think a lot of people are probably pissed off knowing that instead of CJ Stroud taking reps with the first team, it's Davis Mills. It's not the end of the world, and we shouldn't make a huge deal out of it. But if you're a Texans fan and you've been pissed off over the last couple of years to the point of not caring, this is a pretty bad way to burn the goodwill that you may have built up over the course of the last couple of weeks. And you would think the Texans would have learned from this, because if you go back to 2017 when the Texans drafted Deshaun Watson in the first round, if you go into the year with a veteran quarterback under center that's established as opposed to the rookie guy, that's one thing. But if you're going into 2017 with Tom Savage in front of Deshaun Watson, fans are going to be pissed and think you're crazy, much like going into this year with Davis Mills, an unestablished, underwhelming veteran quarterback, just getting first-team reps. You're going to piss off and alienate some fans that you might have been on the cusp of bringing back by hiring DeMeco Ryans, by drafting CJ Stroud, by trading up to go and get Will Anderson. It's something you got to keep in the back of your head if you are the Texans. There is a PR battle to be won just as much as there is a priority to get this team at least towards being competitive, let alone being a championship team. But I had an idea yesterday, especially when we saw that Davis Mills and all that charisma was at the podium. Because generally I'm a trendsetter here when it comes to the city of Houston and talking sports. I say something, I'm usually right, then everyone joins me. And I'm trying to make money, okay? Like a lot of people would argue I'm the Skip Bayless of ESPN 97.5. I would call myself the broke Bayless. I ain't getting paid. How do you get paid? You gotta zag sometimes. And I think a lot of you know I was out on the idea of Davis Mills before it was even cool to be out on Davis Mills. So I think it's time for me and for Sean Mapes, who I'm bringing in against his will, to become the Davis Mills apologists of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. What do you think, Sean? Do you think that'll work? I think it will, because there's so many people with the same opinion, and we need to say something that's different, that stands out.
I just hate it when I get roped into your opinions. There's one last week. I forgot what opinion it was that friend of the show, Greg Frank, was giving us a hard time for. I was like, whoa. I don't believe. Oh, it was Michael Parsons. He's like, oh, yeah, you guys are big Michael Parsons guys. I'm like, no, Paul's a big Michael Parsons guy. I respect the player, but I don't have this man crush on him.
Well, but I mean, you don't stop me.
Yeah, because if I stopped you every time you said something I disagree with, the show would stop.
Sean, you know what they said about the Nazis that were just following orders?
Oh, my God.
They were complicit.
Wait, so you're the Nazis in this scenario?
I'm not going to answer that question, but I am going to say the first part.
You're the worst Nazi.
Because it helps my argument. Just forget about the second part.
If it helps your argument to be to be the Nazis calling the shots, what an argument you got.
No, I'm just giving orders, but you're following with the orders, okay? So technically, you're complicit in this on this Paul Collard show. But I thought about it. And I've actually, I think, got much like a great case against Jeff Bagwell, I've got a good case in defense of Davis Mills, your starting quarterback for the Houston Texans in 2023. You know how many career touchdown passes Davis Mills has? 33. You know how many career touchdown passes CJ Stroud has? 0. You know how many passing yards Davis Mills has? 5,782. You know how many passing yards CJ Stroud has? Also 0. I mean, that's a ratio of infinity. So at OTAs yesterday, people were upset hearing this, but Davis Mills said that he's not here to be a mentor. He's here to compete with CJ Stroud for that starting quarterback gig.
Yeah, I mean, I'm competing for that starting job. I mean, since I've been drafted in the NFL, I've been in competition. I don't think anything's going to change, but I mean, it's been great getting to know CJ so far. He's an extremely hard worker, and it'll be good to see how we go out there and compete every day and make each other better.
They're going to try to make each other better, but I think it stands to reason that CJ Stroud is going to make Davis Mills better, right? Because Davis Mills now knows that he has to beat out somebody for the starting gig, which is his by right. You can't lose your job to a rookie without training. That's never happened in the workplace before. That is science. Speaking of science, Davis Mills, he got a bachelor in arts and science from Stanford, like John Elway, like Andrew Luck, like lots of soulless smart people in Silicon Valley. CJ Stroud, he went to Ohio State, a state school. You know who else went to Ohio State? Maurice Claret. You know who else went to Ohio State? Vernon Golston. You know who else went to Ohio State? The late Dwayne Haskins. Look, I mean, who's smarter? Who's the smarter quarterback? I think it's pretty clear on that front. Also, I didn't hear this from CJ Stroud yesterday. We don't know what CJ Stroud's weaknesses are, but Davis Mills, he's going to turn his weaknesses into his strengths.
Really, the big thing is just focus on myself. I'm trying to get better every day. Putting a lot of work in on some of my weaknesses from previous years, and trying to make those my strengths now. So, biggest thing, just coming and put my head down and getting better each day.
Trying to get better each day. Is CJ Stroud doing that? How can he? He's never set foot in the NFL. And, you know, a lot of people were throwing Davis Mills under the bus for his struggles last year. I think you got to listen to this clip of Mills talking about last season, and you're going to realize something.
A big learning experience. Obviously, the record was what it was. We wanted to win more games. And I think it led to some of the decisions that we ended up having to make as an organization this offseason. But, I mean, it's another day, another day to get better. For me personally, I'm looking as another learning experience that's going to add to my ability to go out there and play quarterback at a high level.
We wanted to be better last year. Davis Mills didn't throw anybody under the bus right there, but could we be better with the roster around Davis Mills? Many people have argued that if Davis Mills had a better supporting cast, he would be better as a quarterback. And you know what? We're going to be the show on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5 that does it. We are here for Davis Mills to be the starting quarterback of your Houston Texans. You got a problem with that? Come at me, bro. Welcome back to the Tucker Paulson Show. Quarterback used to be a job for hardworking white Americans in our great country. But like many institutions, it's under attack as an obsession with diversity is ruining the careers of hardworking white men. Goodbye to quarterbacks like Nathan Peterman, Ryan Leaf, Josh Rosen, and Johnny Manziel. They're out of work, while affirmative action hires like Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson are stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from their communities. Sure, you have the occasional black quarterback who's actually earned his starting job and was an upstanding citizen, like Deshaun Watson. But the NFL now has 15 black starting quarterbacks. Soon, white quarterbacks will be a persecuted minority. And then what's next? An NFL where whites aren't allowed to play cornerback too? What is happening? What is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Sleepy Joe Biden thinks white is now wrong in the NFL under center. I mean, that could be a defensive Davis Mills. And if you were listening in the last segment, we talked about this on the break, twitch.tv/ESPN 97.5. There were some of you that actually were proponents of Davis Mills last year. And I mean, all you had to do was go to one practice. And I get it. Like, I know football probably better than anybody in the world, right? Flag football legend, all district safety. And some of you, you're upset. Like, you're jealous of my skills on the gridiron and, of course, talking about the gridiron. But you didn't grow up in Boston and watch the Patriots win 6 Super Bowls. and go to 9. It's fine. Like, you'll get there someday. You gotta stick with me. But there were some people at this very station. There were some people in this market who were trying to push the idea of Davis Mills as a guy with upside this past offseason. I went to one practice and I was like, what is this? What is this? Checkdowns, passes out of bounds that are being thrown out of bounds. So the only defense of Davis Mills at this point in time has to be comical, has to be sarcastic, has to be hilarious. Like, I don't know, someone impersonating Tucker Carlson and acting like Davis Mills is out of a job because he's white. Like, that's sort of where we're at. You know, I could continue to go down this rabbit hole, and maybe I'm doing this a little bit too much. Maybe I have too many sarcastic takes out there. You know, I saw somebody that does weekend stuff at her station who's been getting mad about like some of the back and forth between shows. And I saw that person like tweet. I was like, do you not understand fun? Do you not understand trash talk? Can we please all of a sudden just sit down and pause and like just think about why things are being said and why things are happening? This is entertainment. It is. It is entertainment. So I'm trying to entertain myself, because I think it's really funny that some of these people that were pushing for Davis Mills last year are actually like just acting like that never happened. I think it's honestly impressive. I mean, I could keep going with the Davis Mills defense. This could be the Davis Mills mafia. We could be it. We could be holding it down. Yeah, a couple of people died. Check that. 90% of the mafia died. The rest snitched or are in jail. Witness protection, perhaps. But, I mean, how about this clip? Remember when yesterday CJ Stroud said that he's learning from Davis Mills and Case Keenum? I mean, that's a reason for Davis Mills to be the number one quarterback in Texans OTAs.
It's been something that I definitely knew that I knew that I needed it. Just that guidance and that confidence that they've had, because they've both played in the league, been starters. So they've been very helpful, have been very appreciative and very supportive of everything. We have constant communication on and off the field. So, I mean, it's been really great.
Stroud's going to be the starting quarterback by the start of the year. And I think the Texans know that has to happen eventually, but they have to make it seem like Stroud has to earn the job. Stroud's going to earn the job. It's not that high of a cliff to climb to overtake Davis Mills under center. So a lot of this is a dog and pony show, and I would say specifically in the locker room, so that Stroud knows he has to earn the actual role itself. Nothing is given to him. He is the second overall pick, but it's the NFL. Nothing comes to you unless it is earned. But he's going to get the job eventually. And I just think that for Texans fans out there, this does suck, because you just want to see all CJ Stroud right now. And the Texans are probably doing the right thing here, but it just sucks that you're hearing and reading that Davis Mills is under center going into OTAs.